I'm your host, Nadine of 818 Events, and this is 818 and Conversate. Every episode is going to feel like a spontaneous road trip with your closest friends. Bring your luggage because we'll be unpacking everything. I'm going to be joined by an awesome passenger every now and then, and who knows, we might even pick up a hitchhiker along the way. Picture this, you're vibing, spilling the tea, storytelling, reminiscing, manifesting even. There might also be a little detour of controversy here and there, and we may even have to pump the brakes when shit gets too real. But it will always be a good-ass conversation and the road trip that you don't want to end. Episodes will drop the 8th and the 18th of every month, so in the spirit of a dope road trip, be sure to grab your travel snacks, crank up the volume, hop in the whip, and let's ride! Okay, this is episode 11, and I'm really excited about this one because this is dropping on 8/18, which is my birthday, which is my whole brand. So I thought if I was going to emphasize 8/18, that I would explain it a little bit, and since my whole brand is 8/18, which is based on my birthday, my business is event and wedding coordination. It's my passion, it's what I've been doing for years. I thought I would sit down with somebody who has the same passion, who I've known for many years, and we actually started very informally in events together. So she's going to introduce herself, but she's from the same realm as me, and I'm excited to sit down with her, and we're going to talk about her brand, my brand, and this whole industry of events. So introduce yourself, please.
Okay, so my name is Janeille Patrice, and I am the owner of JP&Co Events. I am a wedding planner, an event designer, and a coordinator. What do I have to think about?
You know why? Because you probably stopped at the event design because I told you I don't do it.
Yeah, I was like, what do I do again?
Yeah, she does the thing that I don't do. So I don't do event design just because that's just not my specialty. So I applaud you for that. So this episode is actually called Chaos, Coordination, and Chemistry, and it's kind of like we're touching on all the little elements of, working with clients, the coordination side of things, how crazy and chaotic an event can be behind the scenes, and just like our lives and getting to this place in this industry and so on and so forth. So tell me a little bit more about like JP&Co Events, because that was exciting for me to hear, because I've known you since you were much younger, and like I said, we were doing events informally. But I didn't even know that you were like leaning in that direction.
Honestly, I didn't know either. Honestly, it happened so organically. What happened was like in 2017, I literally just had like a transformation with my life. So many things happened. I went through like a crazy breakup, and from there I was like, I need to just leave this place for like the summer. For like a season.
This place being Toronto?
Toronto.
Okay.
It was just too hectic for me at the time, and I was I believe I was like 24 at the time.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what, let me just get up, go, and do something out of my comfort zone, and that was going to Muskoka to work on a resort as a server.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you, girl.
Yeah. So.
And you were gone for what, the summer?
I was gone for the summer. I was gone for about 5, almost 6 months.
Okay.
When I came back to Toronto from there, after the 4 or 5 months I was there, I went back for a wedding because I was requested. So basically what happened when I started like in Muskoka, it was literally just to serve. I had no intention of being anything in events.
Okay.
I knew that I was gonna probably be doing a couple weddings, but I had no interest in like coordinating them, organizing them, or anything like that.
And were you doing like big events?
Yeah.
Was it a golf club? What was it?
It was a resort. So
Okay.
it's called Tabby Resort.
Okay.
It's a golf course. Like whole resort, it's very bougie, very nice.
All right, well, shout out to them because they created a little
Exactly.
event.
I always give them a shout out. They know. I always go back in return. But yeah, no, I went there, and then everything just changed. Within the 2 weeks that I was there, they promoted me to event supervisor and coordinator.
Wow.
And I was like,
Within 2 weeks?
Within 2 weeks, yeah. And I was like,
Because she's bossy, but in a good way.
Yeah, so I was just like, I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't know what I was in for.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started, I was just flourishing. When I started designing things, I started putting things together. With those like traditional resorts or like banquet halls or anything, you always have just the linen, the glass, and everything.
Very standard basic.
Yeah, very standard and basic, but I was always making it look really pretty and elegant. So I was like into that, and then they were like, oh my god, like you have an eye for this, you're visionary. And I was like, like this is really nice. So
it's nice to see it all come together.
Yeah. So when I started doing that, I was delegating. I had my staff. I was there literally like all day. Sometimes I'd be there from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. I was there all day, I was dedicated, and I loved what I did. I was excited to wake up every day for work. So I was doing that consistently for like almost 5 months, and then I returned back to Toronto. And I was just finishing up my semester in post-secondary, and I was just like, what am I gonna do from here? Like, of course I'm gonna be graduating, and I get a job within the field that I'm in, but I'm just like, something in me just wanted me to do events. So I was like, I need to do this. And then I sat on it for 2018, started my website, got myself on Wix, shout out to Wix.
I did the same.
I did it myself, and I was like, okay. And then I sat on it 2018, and then 2019 is when I literally just like said, forget it, like launch it. I launched March 2019.
Good for you, girl. So when you were working at that venue, was that a good opportunity for you to build a portfolio? Did you get a lot of work out of that you could use to showcase like some of the stuff that you've done?
I definitely took photos, but I didn't use it in anything for my portfolio. Okay. Like, I didn't do that. I literally just like, I definitely had the references and I had the management and everything on my side when I needed anything. Yeah. Of course, but I didn't use anything for my portfolio because I didn't even know what I was doing in the beginning. I was just
you're like winging it.
I was just winging it. I was just like, I'm good at this. I think I know what I'm doing, and I'm a people person, so let's just work it. That's the work, the sleep, a charm. So.
You know what? The thing is, I would say personally, from my own experience, it's a fine line between being charismatic and being charming and being assertive, because there's no way you can do this if you have no backbone at all, because people will run right through you. And they depend on you to get shit done, right? And if you don't have that ability, it can be very challenging. You can't be soft in this.
No.
And you have
if you try,
you have a good thick skin, so I'll give you that for sure. So it's funny because both of us, I think, maybe always had this like dwelling in the background, just being, you know, into the logistics and the planning side of things. And so for our backgrounds, just so everybody knows, we did pretty much like music industry events. Janeille and I were talking about this before we started recording, but like we worked with a lot of artists who are big names now.
Huge now, yeah.
And you know, we were doing small showcase events, and there was a lot of like logistical stuff behind the scenes because these events were coming together sometimes on short notice or in chaotic venues or just
tiny venues.
Yeah, tiny venues that we were trying to turn into something else. So it's not surprising to see how this played out for both of us. My mom was a huge event planner, but she was more in the like corporate and conference sector of things.
She definitely had the personality too.
You spent some time with mom. She came to every event that we did.
She did.
So you know, that was part of my influence too, but being in the industry and all of that, it was really like the next stepping stone was making this more legit, making this more formal. And I work full time, but it was something that I was passionate about doing because I know I was good at it. So I'm not shocked at all to hear you see like this come to fruition. So tell me, like, I know what this has been like for me during this COVID time, but like, what's it been like for you? You know, because you kind of kicked off right before this.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm lucky. I've definitely been blessed, like 100%. So many things happened for me so fast. Honestly, I have no words. I still can't believe it because like it's.
I'm thoroughly impressed by what you've done. I'm thoroughly impressed by your work.
Thank you.
Your branding, your marketing. I mean, I'm not the best on the social media side of things, but
I'm not either.
No, but I applaud you because I see the stuff that you do. Your style shoots are insane.
Thank you.
I have a couple magazines on the table here from stuff that I've done. I haven't done stuff in a long time, but like, it takes a lot of work.
It does.
The business itself is a lot of work, but branding yourself, building a portfolio, finding out who your clientele is and your niche, and like finding ways to market yourself and do things that really showcase who you are as a planner. It's a lot of work.
It is. Like when I started, I literally, this has been going on 3 years now. 2022 is going to be 3 years as JP&Co events. And when I started, I was literally just trying to get myself out there. I did pro bono events.
Holla.
I've done some questionable
sketchy events. You know,
questionable things.
You start to question some of the things you've
I'm just like, you know what I mean? Just to get myself out there, just to build a portfolio. I've done friends' weddings, just so many different things, and like I lowballed my prices just to get out there and everything like that. Do that in the beginning, not when you build your portfolio, obviously. But yeah, like I had the confidence, And I definitely had the drive to do it and the perseverance, but I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So when I was building, it was just like hustling, building genuine relationships. And obviously within this industry, it's very hard. It's like crabs in the bucket at times, it's who knows who, which is still very relevant today. But I'm all about authenticity and just being genuine and making honest connections. Like I don't really care who you are and who you know. I'm more about the character. And I've always been about making my clients feel. So I think that's what got me to where I was, just being authentic, just pushing my brand, believing in it myself, not relying on the opinion of others, and just pushing.
You know, hearing you say that is so interesting because for me, I guess everyone kind of has a similar start, but it either makes or breaks you because, you know, I don't know, I can't remember if you did your like WPIC certification. You did, right? Yes, we both did. And that's, for those listening or for those who don't know, WPIC is like a certification program for wedding planners. But a lot of people take this course because they like planning events. They're just like, I like it, let me take it. And then they do it and then they have no idea what to do next. Or they work for a venue and they need to take it because they want to have that as extra background knowledge, you know, because they're working in a venue or they're working in the restaurant industry or the floral industry or something like that. For me, it was almost like I had, and I can't speak for you, but I feel like it's very similar. We had all this like background of actually doing it, that for us it was more like how do we formalize what we're doing so that it made sense to other people. For me, I already knew where my start was. We were already doing it. How do we like make it legit? And so when I started, I was kind of on the same page as you were. Like it took a while to launch because I really wanted to get my foot in the door in the wedding world and connect with figuring out what my niche was and who I was as a brand and who I wanted to be as an event planner, what clients I wanted. And I spent I think like a year shadowing people, working questionable events, learning what I wanted to be as a planner, learning what I didn't like about planners that I worked with, like no shade to some of them that I assisted, but
of course.
I learned the things that I loved and I didn't love. And I think Betsy said that on the episode I did with her, Practice What You Preach. You know, she talked about interning for another swimwear designer and talking about all the things that she learned from her, but also all the things that she learned from her that she wanted to do differently. And I think for me, that was a huge thing.
Yes.
Excuse me. I don't know about you, but I worked weddings where like I was the assistant and I'm running all over the place, and the main planner is just like chilling. Chilling. And they're like, oh, well, the bouquet has tossed, so I'll be leaving now. And I'm like, well, we're done? Like, that's it? And for me, I'm very hands-on. If I feel like the moment I walk out the door and the ball's gonna drop, like, I stick it out. I wanna make sure every piece of the puzzle is handled before I leave. And that my client is like really confident in the work that I've done, because to be honest, everything could be complete on the checklist, but the moment you walk out the door, if something goes wrong, all of that doesn't even matter anymore because your night ended in a shit show, right?
No, honestly, like I agree with that. Like I'm literally that planner that will literally be there from day one to the end of the event.
Yeah.
Honestly, I tear down as well.
Yeah,
I do
me
everything.
too.
I'm popping balloons, I'm sleeping,
Putting stuff in the bridal suite,
yeah, like I'm literally there for everything. Touching up makeup, I'm that planner, you know what I mean? Like I'm not comfortable with walking away.
Mediocre. I'm not comfortable with mediocre, man.
Exactly, mediocrity. So I'm not comfortable with just like walking away like, oh yeah, that's good. You already gave me a hug here.
Yeah.
Like no, I want to make sure that the bride feels good, or just my client in general.
Yeah.
I'm always there from day one and just mingling with the client's guests,
Their
and just,
family,
like, their families, making sure everyone's comfortable. The grannies and the grand plus are always my favorite. They're so cute.
Moms and dads are usually my favorite.
Yeah,
and I don't ever call them by their names. I'm always like, hey mom,
Yeah, mom
hey
and dad.
dad.
Yeah. I'm definitely mom and dad. I'm
Yeah.
not formal at all. But I just like to make everyone feel comfortable. I'm not really comfortable with just leaving and just saying, okay, yeah, you got this. Like I'm not.
No, I know. And I think
weddings, people are drunk. They're not all there.
not reliable. And one thing that, you know, maybe this counts as one of my like wedding and event planning tips, but one thing that I've learned over the years is as much as people think that they're themselves or somebody in their bridal party or their family is going to be reliable on that day, it's every man for themselves.
Yeah, literally.
You know, a bridesmaid's sees their boyfriend, they're distracted. Their kids are there, they're distracted. The best man gets drunk. The groomsmen are all drunk. They're outside smoking. The moms are like, oh, it's past my bedtime, I'm out of here. And that is why you hire a planner, right? Because all the pieces need someone to like make sure that they're all fitting together and coming together, and bridal parties and venue coordinators and family and friends, they don't always do that. There's some that are great, like laud the mother-in-law that is like reliable to the last minute, but not everybody's like that.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, and honestly, I always tell people, like, for any event in general, it's hire a planner. It's such a good investment. And like, it's not everyone can afford it, but it's realistic. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we have payment plans.
I know.
That's why you pay the 50% deposit first. You know what I mean? We make it easy for you because it's like, especially for your wedding, it's the biggest day of your life, and it is extremely stressful. And why would you want your family members taking care of everything when they should be enjoying your wedding?
Exactly. They should be a guest. When a guest should be a guest. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be a guest. And like, you know, like, I remember, like, obviously traditionally it was like the maid of honor and the mother-in-law and the mother taking care of everything from the rehearsal dinner to everything. And I'm just like, no, like, I don't like that. Like, even for me, I plan my wedding because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
JP&Co. But I would definitely hire a data coordinator.
To execute everything.
Exactly. If you can't hire someone who can do the thing from the planning from start to finish, then hire someone who's a data coordinator, because the data coordination is everything. They're literally taking up like everything from 4 to 6 weeks. Yep. And just dealing with everything from logistics to
making sure that you haven't missed any steps along the way.
You know what I mean? So just invest in that. Like, you know what I mean? They range between like $800 to $1,500 depending on how experienced they are. Yeah. Some of the better planners or the more popular planners are obviously like
much out of that price range.
Yeah, much out of that price range, but I'm just, it's realistic. Like, if you want someone to just handle that, just invest in a planner.
Peace of mind.
Invest in a planner. That's my biggest thing.
I mean, in the grander scheme of things, and I do try to tell people this all the time, in the grander scheme of things, when you're looking at your budget, not to say that $1,500 or $2,000 is not a lot of money, but in the grander scheme of things, where you're executing your money, would you rather spend $1,500 on tablecloths, or would you rather spend $1,500 on ensuring that someone has every step throughout the day taken care of?
Exactly.
And if you hire a good planner with a good reputation, that's going to happen.
Exactly. And on top of that, like, we are the plug. We are discounts. Like,
we're the plug.
We are the plug. I'm sorry to say, like, we are the wedding plug with events and stuff. Like, the things that I pull for my clients, like, I've had venues like say yes within 24 hours. I found venues. I've had them like cuts the pricing because of who I am and who I know and everything like that. Like, we're the plug. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we literally know anyone, and we can make it happen, and we're always gonna get
you're paying for our experience and our knowledge and our background, and that's the whole point, right? Yeah. We'll touch on some more like tips on some of this stuff in a little bit, but I'm curious. I know what my day looks like. It's so funny because we're talking and I can, like, I already knew that me and you have similar styles and how we do events because we've worked together, but it's just funny to hear that all these years later when you're working on your business and your own brand, it sounds so similar to the way that I do this, the way I pick my clients, the way I handle the day. And like I said, that whole training period of like, you know, exposure to other planners, assisting, doing things for free, doing things for like a gas card, you know, hustling all the way out to God knows where just to get an event because you wanted to. It's interesting that you've kind of gone through the same experience. And I know a lot of people in this industry have, but it's funny that it's gotten us to the same place now in terms of the way that our brand feels and looks and how we represent it. What is an average day like for you for a wedding day? I know what mine is, so I'll share mine, but let's see where we like connect on the.
Honestly, I can't sleep the night before a wedding.
I'm a little anxious.
I'm very anxious in a good way, obviously. Yeah. Like, not to stress anybody out. I'll never let the bride know that. Now they are, so. No, I'm honestly just super anxious and excited. I'm always on my phone. I'm always overthinking, like, okay, how are we gonna put this together? Do the colors match? Is everything perfect? Obviously, logistics and everything is already taken care of because I already have everything rented out. The team and the rehearsal, everything is already dealt with. And I'm just running last minute
changes and edits
to the client, and then here we are at the venue. Getting things in, all the rentals are coming in. I've had instances where I've had tablecloths, and I'm just like, you send that back right now, figure it out.
Yeah,
send
you
it
have 2 hours to get it back.
less than 2 hours. I'm not giving you 2 hours to figure it out. Like, I've literally like freaked out. I've had things be delivered to my house because it's
This
a
is the
address.
chaos aspect of
Yes.
the industry that we're talking
I
about.
literally had things delivered to my house instead of the actual address. And my house is all the way in the east, and they were supposed to deliver it downtown.
Oh my god.
So I was just like, okay.
So unintentionally delivered to your house?
Unintentionally.
Oh, got it.
I was not giving instructions.
Yes.
But that's fine. That's fine. It happens, but no, honestly, there's been a lot of trial and error with my events, but the client will never usually know unless it's absolutely necessary. You just have to like use your charm and finesse and just make shit happen. That's it.
It's true. And to be honest, when you're working these events, you want a great team behind you. So you hire a great assistant that you can rely on. And I don't know about you, but like I love giving new people opportunities to learn and stuff. But for me and you, I think you're the same. Like we are very assertive. Kind of have no time for bullshit. So a lot of times I use people that have a thick skin, that understand my language, that I don't have to like give every explicit detail. They just kind of know like how to pick it all up and put it all together. And when you have that, it makes you 100 times better at your job and executing the day. And then when you're working with a venue who you communicate really well with, who has their own great team, you know, if you work collaboratively, the day comes together really well. But you need to be able to communicate, finesse a little bit, sweet talk a little bit, like there's a lot of little moving parts that you need to like be able to coordinate. That's the coordination side.
Yes, exactly.
So you're at the venue doing all of that. My day starts like depending on the bride, or like if it's a one venue or if it's like ceremony in another venue, like I'm with the bride from literally like their prep time for the most part. And then I'm at a church, and then I disappear and go to the venue, and then all of that kicks in for me.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. From every step you're there.
If you're doing design, are you like with the bride and groom for their whole prep time, or are you more focused on the design aspect?
No, so in my case, like if I'm doing design, I'm usually, unless I have my like, huge team, which I don't have yet, I'm usually at the venue just designing everything. Like I already know that the bride's good. Like you have bridesmaids and a maid of honor for a reason.
Yeah, they're supposed to be there.
Yeah, they're supposed to be there. Like it's hair and makeup. I'm not really sure what else I need to be there for. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm being realistic. I would love to be there every step of the way, but as a designer, I need to make sure that everything down to my tablescape is perfect.
What's your favorite color to work with?
Anything neutral.
Ooh.
Anything neutral.
So you like an ivory, like calm?
I wouldn't say calm. My designs are definitely not calm. No, I like to like push the limits, and I like to play with different textures. I love textures, colors. I'm obsessed with florals. I love flatware. I love unique flatware. Anything that's stamped. Just anything. I love this Bridgerton vibe. I know a lot of like clients do a lot of fine art. Yeah. Fine art is beautiful too. It's not necessarily my style, but I can definitely pull it off. But I just like anything pretty. That's it. I don't know how to explain it because
I like that answer actually, because what you could do with one client can be very different with the next, but the way that it comes together, it has a beautiful aesthetic.
Exactly.
So
I've definitely done events
consistent theme.
Like I've done events that like if you look at my Instagram in general, like you can literally see different styles.
Yeah.
Like at Valentine's Day, I have al fresco vibes. I have an outdoor wedding. I have Callie's birthday, which is an insane 6th birthday. Shout out to Callie and the Rush family. But no, like seriously, it's been nuts. Like I've had different events, and that goes to show that I can do anything. I don't like to put myself in one box to be like, yeah, this is what I do. I do fine art, and that's it. I do al fresco, and that's it. That's not me.
Yeah,
it's not me. It's not being realistic. As long as it's beautiful, it's luxury, it's high end, it's customizable. I'm happy. That's it.
I'll tell you, I would say that I'm kind of the same. I mean, I don't do design, like I said. I will give insight and input into like the creative concept of the wedding, but I recommend designers because that's just not my forte. But I don't box in either, right? Like I've done everything from a rustic chic to like an art gallery, very intimate wedding to, you know, a huge outdoor thing or a golf course thing. So like I'm kind of all over the spectrum. My boxes, my niche is my clientele, like who I choose to work with and stuff. And I think that is kind of what I've learned in my years doing this. that it took me to get there, to figure out like who do I like to work with, who do I want to work with. So we'll touch on that in the chemistry side of things. But like, what would you say your like recipe for success in this industry is?
Doing the work. You have to do the work. You can like people like I realize that we're now in this spiritual culture where everyone like it's trending and everybody's talking about manifesting and affirmations and everything. Okay, that's
It'll
all.
just come to you.
It's all good and
It's meant to
dandy.
be,
Yeah, it's been a thing. It's all good and dandy, but you have to do the work. It's not. It's beautiful on social media. It's great to spread positivity and be like, yes, I'm women empowerment and everything, but are you doing the work?
Yeah.
Are you out there supporting people
Yeah.
genuinely?
Yeah.
Are you being a good person? Like, you know what I mean?
Are you collaborative?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you approachable?
Yeah.
You have to be that person. And I think the reason why I've been successful in what I've been doing the last 2 years, I'm not even where I want to be, but it's simply because keeping God first, obviously, and just doing the work. I do the work every single day. It's not always easy. I cry a lot. I get stressed out. Overwhelmed. Yeah, I get anxiety at times. Sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. Especially when I'm not posting as much as I want to and everything like that. But one thing, again, is I don't watch like what people are doing. And mainly
I definitely don't compare myself.
No comparison. Like,
Yeah.
what's for you will always be for you. And I just feel like you need to just do the work. That's my recipe for success. I've been doing the work for like years.
Do you, sorry to cut you off, do you, in that statement, do you ever feel like you're letting your clients down, like personally? Because I have moments where, you know, I'm busy or I'm overwhelmed or, you know, I've taken on a few clients and one of them seems more in need of like my attention and my focus than another. And that like constant need to maybe like hold them off or tell them like not yet or stuff along those lines. Sometimes I feel like I'm disappointing them, right? And so there's been times, I mean, shout out to one of my clients, she'll know who she is, she's still a great friend of mine, but like, she almost had like a G check with me at one point because she was kind of like, I need you. We're getting closer, and like I need to feel like you're more in this or whatever. Like, are you distracted? Are you busy? And I think that was a good lesson for me in transparency, like with my clients. Like I work full time. I do this as a side passion, and a lot of them know that going into it, but. It can be a little like disappointing for yourself or a little overwhelming for yourself when you feel like you're not doing enough. And it could just be because the client's hella needy, which is not a bad thing because they're maybe just not somebody that is as hands-on as another client, right? But like I'm just curious, what's your experience with that? Because I've had moments where I'm like, damn, I'm disappointed in my client. Like maybe we should call her more, text her more, meet with her more.
Yeah, communication is definitely key. I'm always reachable for my clients. Like my clients literally message me at any hour of the night. I try to have boundaries and be like, no, Monday through Friday this hour, but it's not realistic. I like to be there, but there's definitely been a time like I did a beautiful baby shower the other day for a couple, gorgeous couple, and we were struggling to find this venue. Like struggling just to find the perfect venue. We had them, and then we changed the date, so we lost that date, and then we just had to go back and forth. Like we went to a venue that said that they were available, and we went to go look at the site visit, and like, oh, it's booked. So I was just like, it was literally like it was knocking me down and made me want to cry, like kick and scream, and made me want to do everything. And my client was super understanding. She was amazing, and she just was like, listen, it's not you, it's COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're telling you that, but you're still feeling like
you're disappointed.
And I told her straight up, I'm like, listen, I feel like I'm failing you. And I feel like that transparency is so important with clients. Like, she's like, you're not feeling me at all. And that reassurance was amazing. But then I think from there, I was like, you know what, whatever. So I literally pulled some strings. I'm not going to go into detail on how I pulled it, but I literally pulled some strings.
She finessed.
Yeah, I definitely finessed. Nothing else but finesse. And secured this beautiful, beautiful property. And it was just gorgeous, and she was super happy. I can't wait to release the photos, and yeah, it was just amazing.
Good for you, girl.
Yeah, there's definitely been times where I just felt like I'm like, why am I even doing this if I can't like deliver?
And you know, in fairness to like a bride especially, I mean a couple in general, but a bride especially, like they're already overwhelmed, they're spending a lot of money, they're, you know, emotionally connected to this one event more than any other event ever, maybe other than a baby shower or something. But, you know, it's hard to want to tell somebody who you're supposed to be depending on to like make this day magic and happen, like, hi, I feel like you're kind of like not helping me the way I thought, or you know, like I can understand why that would be hard for a client to do that. So sometimes you feel that energy, but you're not getting it communicated to you. So I strongly am all about the transparency. Like I ask the questions, I over communicate, but I'm the same as you. Like I have a very open line of communication with my clients, even if it's like a day of month of planning package. You know, I may have signed you a year ago for a wedding that's going to be happening in a year, but
following up.
if you're asking, if you have questions, if you want to like clue me in on something, if you're indecisive about something, I love the communication, because to be honest, it only makes my job easier when I kick in a month before the wedding. Like I already know that because you've already communicated it to me. I'm not trying to like absorb all of this new information about something. I'm aware and I'm conscientious about like what's already happening.
Exactly, you're getting to know the client as well.
100%.
In that process, you just know how they work and how they like move. And that's really important. Another thing for planners is like you need to know your client's personality.
100%.
Like that's the thing. I don't care if you're coming on a month or 2 weeks before. I've gotten to know my clients within like 8 days.
Yes.
12
Are they introverted? Are they extroverted? Are they
Yeah.
lax? Are they tense?
Yeah.
Are they lax right now, but they're going to be tense on the day? Are they nervous? Do they not communicate? There's a million factors, and it's crazy because if you don't pick up on that, that can be very challenging for the day, the specific day.
And another tip I would say is like, if you're planning for your friends, especially your close friends, just know that that's business.
When you did your WP, I'm laughing because when you did your WPIC training, shout out to them, because like I love them.
Janeille and Tracy.
Janeille and Tracy, shout out my mentors. Like I've gone to them with random questions on Facebook for help. But do you remember them saying, "Don't work for your friends" in the course?
Honestly, that probably like went over my head.
Yeah, because you're just like, I'm gonna plan all my friends' weddings.
I've been working for my friends.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? Like I've been working for, like when I started, I was working for my friends. Shout out to my friends who gave me the opportunity to plan their event.
Yeah.
But like honestly, I kept on reiterating this, like you don't know what you don't know, and that's their slogan. Right?
Yeah.
And I was already doing this for 2 years prior to even doing WPIC.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
period. No, like I literally did not know what I did not know. And they said that obviously, but now I'm getting to know, like when you're working for your friends, it's strictly business. I don't care how close you are to them. But like things change. You get to see a different side of them. You know, they get to see a different side of you, and it's like, are we going to bring emotion into this and talk about it, or are we just going to like focus on the business?
Yeah.
And I find that, moving forward, I don't know how I feel about that. So, I want to love them, but I feel like moving forward, I feel like I want to just like keep it with business. You know what I mean? Like,
be a little bit selective. It's funny because to be honest, you're hitting the nail on the head. You don't know what you don't know, and you see a different side of somebody when their money's on the line, when their emotions are on the line, when their family's invested. You might think that like mom was cool, but mom might not be as cool when her daughter's getting married. You know, like it can be very eye-opening and a little bit like, I'm laughing because Keith's like doing his production thing, and Jamil's like, what is happening here?
Just like, let me not move.
You know what? We have our wine. I feel like your glass is getting empty, so make sure you top it up if you're
you're not drinking with me. I'm a little thirsty.
I was drinking while you were talking earlier. But no, I definitely think that the friend card is a very interesting one when it comes to working with them.
Yeah.
Unless that's like you're solid, you know that you've done it a million times, it can be very challenging because there's a whole different dynamic than you've ever had before. And sometimes there's no coming back from it, to be honest, after the fact.
Yeah, like I've had those moments where I'm just like,
pay me my money.
Let me out.
Yeah. So okay, so let's talk about those moments or some horror stories. I don't know. Any like little tea or horror story stuff that you can spill?
Yeah, like I would just like, I'm not gonna go into detail obviously. I've done like events for friends where it's just like I literally just don't talk to them now. Like I
just go by life. I'm sure you all heard that.
No, like I just don't
She was just like, I'm not.
It's always gonna be love and respect.
Yeah.
But I just know now because I just feel like your friend shouldn't lowball you.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Pause that thought right there. There's like a meme that was like, if you own a business, your friend should be the one person that don't ask you for a discount. Because if you believe in what I'm doing, if you stand behind me and what my venture is, why would you want me to charge you less?
Yeah,
you want me to eat? Yeah.
Should you want me to feed my family?
Do you not want to go out for drinks next week?
You want to go on the yacht? Yeah.
Hold up on me if you take my bill.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, for me, it's just like, no, it's all love and all respect, but I just would never put myself in that position again. Because with your friends, you go above and beyond. You know? You do so many different things, and it's just like, wow, like, this is how you do me? Like,
you know what? I've done events for friends, and I will say those are the ones that I care the most about impressing their friends, their family.
Yes.
My other friends are there and present, you know, so you have a standard that you want to set the tone for.
Yes.
And it's business. Excuse me, it's business. And the lowball aspect, I mean, I understand the friend and family discount or whatever, because like, listen, if I scratch your back, you scratch my back, whatever, you help me in other ways in life, cool. But if you just think just because you know me, because we like go out every now and then or whatever, that's deserving of a discount, I don't know, you might have to rethink that dynamic there, because what I do still has a dollar value associated with it. The time, the energy, the gas, the mileage.
The energy.
The energy.
People underestimate the energy that goes into events, especially as a planner. The behind the scenes is not pretty.
Our feet
are
destroyed at the end of the day.
Like, I literally had a spa day after an event that I like killed myself for. And when I went to get a massage, the lady literally told me, you don't need a massage, you need to sleep.
You need therapy.
That too. No, but like,
I know your body's toast.
You're done. And
you're lifting things you didn't anticipate lifting. You're on your feet for hours. And you said it earlier in the episode, but like, our days start when the day starts. So if our event is something that starts at 12 or 1, like our day is hours before. And guess what? Those events don't end till the venue closes. So 1, 2, or 3. I've left venues at 3 a.m. Exhausted, but it's because I wanted to make sure every aspect of the day was complete. And sometimes our days are literally 20-hour days. And our feet
I have pain thinking about that.
You know what? I did a wedding last weekend. One of my best friends came to help me because it was like 2 nights overnight. So I was like, you know what? I can depend on you. We gotta be in intimate quarters in a hotel. You know, like I need you for the day. And by I want to say like 10:30, and it was a very smooth wedding. One venue, they already did their ceremony in their yard last year, so this was just like finally the reception. And we were laying in bed at the end of the day, and I was like, my feet are still moving. Like, my legs are throbbing, my feet are still moving, my body's aching, my head's pounding. We don't eat properly at the wedding because we're not sitting at the table. By the time you get back, our plate's gone. Like, it's a lot. I'm not complaining. Love it.
Like, I love events. Like, I love events anyways. Like, I will do, honestly, I don't even eat when I'm doing events. Like, even when we're fed, I'm just not eating.
Yeah, because you're go.
I was like, no, I'll buy myself a meal after.
Yeah.
But like, I'm literally just exhausted, but it's just, I love them so much, but it's exhausting, and people underestimate the energy that goes into it.
Yeah, there's a dollar value.
It's like, listen, people, love your planners, respect your planners, okay? Give them their flowers, because we do so much, and we give so much, and we just want you to be happy at the end of the day. Like, at the point, it's not about us, it's about you.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yes, we get emotional, things happen, specifically when you do it with your friends. But like, in general, if it's just a stranger who becomes a friend, it's like, we want to give you everything. We give you everything.
Yeah, we're pouring our heart
into the day. Yeah, we're really pouring our heart into the day, and we're not only just doing it for you, we're doing it for your family, we're doing it for your friends, we're doing it for your loved ones.
Yeah.
Anybody, even your dog. Like,
everybody, dogs involved in the
everybody, you know what I mean? We're just doing it for everybody, and like, love on your planners, man. Don't underestimate what they do, because they do so much.
Okay, so I'm gonna touch on something about like why you need a planner in a minute.
Please.
But one thing I was just thinking about when we were talking about like the COVID situation was that, you were really blessed. I would say that I've been pretty blessed as well, because for the most part, my clients just kept pushing out and pushing out. And for me, that was a big deal because I didn't really have an interest in doing these micro weddings. I love executing an event. I love seeing the finished product. I love having a celebration. I love a lot of people. I love a huge event space. I just love the final thing.
Yes.
As much as I want to, still make the event happen for my client that I'm working with, I didn't want to do like a 12-person wedding or like a
20-person matter.
Yeah, and that just wasn't my thing, and it wasn't something that I had interest in doing. So I was very thankful that all of my clients continued to like push out, and I was very reliable to them. Like I continued to say, as long as it doesn't overlap with another client's day, I'm here. Like let's keep riding this out because I'm happy to be a part of this when we finally get to a place where we can celebrate.
Of course, yeah.
And I felt very blessed to have that opportunity. I lost one client that just went ahead and did her ceremony. We didn't do a reception or anything. Love her to pieces, and I was happy to see that she still had a beautiful experience. But I was sad to not be able to work on that wedding. But I feel like I've been blessed too, and it was a nice little pause and refresh, I think, for me.
Oh yeah.
To take a minute to like focus on other things, to grow my relationships with the clients that I have that now we've extended 2 years out, for some of them. And I felt like a little bit of a therapist, and I have a social work background, so, excuse me, funny enough, I felt like during this time, everyone's emotions were fluctuating all over the place. There was no way to know what you were gonna feel, what somebody else was gonna feel, and I just felt like every bride I talked to had a very different approach to what they were feeling about their wedding. The COVID protocols, the changes in plans, some of them were like, fuck it, let's just go ahead and plan the wedding. Let's just do it. Some of them were like, I don't know, I can't, I'm not ready. Some of them were just like, I don't even want to get married anymore. I just want to go to City Hall and call it a day. So I had to manage a lot of emotions on top of the coordination side of things. And my own. And of course, what's the future of my business? What's the future of this industry? What's happening next? So it's kind of interesting that both of us still came out of this with feeling very blessed.
Yes.
And and feeling like there was growth, right?
Yes.
For me, I still feel like I'm growing.
Yeah.
What would you say the difference between your clients then and your clients now are? Like your first few clients, not the ones you did free weddings and assisting and whatever, but your early clients, what would you say is very different about them now than it was then? They're not all your friends.
Don't say that. No, honestly, I still love them. They're still up there, but no.
I don't mean she's cut off her friends.
No.
I meant all your clients at the beginning, were they all you had friends, you were doing things for friends.
Yeah, now
for me it was I'm everybody, let me do your events,
Yeah, now it's people are finding me.
Yeah, real clients. No offense to our friends.
Yeah, real strangers. I remember I did a style shoot that was featured on Today's Bride, and then from there I was like, okay, I made it. I got featured.
Yeah,
Today's
you're
Bride,
amazing,
that's
girl.
huge. You know what I mean? Thank you. So I was super excited about that, and then from there I did Callie's event.
Yep.
So that
was a little kid's birthday.
Exactly. Again, the YouTube family, the Rush family.
Yep.
Shout out to them. Always been in my corner since I was 14, 15.
Oh wow.
So that's the thing, a lot of people don't know that we have a history from back then, right? So I've always been super supportive of them and vice versa. And the relationship just grew. And I remember just approaching Keisha, and I was just like,
I met her actually. She spoke at an event I went to. Yeah.
She's my fellow Libra. She's amazing. And I was just like, I don't remember what it was. It was something in the DMs, because we always DM each other back and forth. Yeah. And after she's just like, okay, plan Callie's birthday. And I was like, huh? I was like, okay, what do I?
It's gonna be on YouTube.
Yeah. Honestly, I had no idea what was happening. I just said, I'm like, okay, no problem. And then we went back and forth. I sent her the contract. It was good to go. And then from there, that was the first event that I knew. I'm like, damn, I'm good at what I do. Because I literally put that event together from scratch. Myself and Susie from Creative Clusters, shout out to her. She's also one of my business best friends, and we were literally on hands and knees doing that backdrop.
Yeah.
I sent it to her. She was 100% supportive of me from the very beginning, and we just wrote it out together, and I'm just like, listen, I'm gonna do this event. It's the biggest event yet. I have full
range
creative direction,
yeah.
And it's a blank canvas, because I was very adamant about wanting a blank canvas because I knew there was going to be so many colors involved.
Yeah.
And I literally just hustled. I went to the venue, I booked the venue right away. Everything just like fell into place. Everything was so aligned, and from there, I blew up. I blew up from there. Like I literally just blew up from there. People were just reaching out to me nonstop, left, right, and center.
Pat yourself on the back, girl. Yeah, seriously.
The Rush family gave me a huge shout out on YouTube, and then from there, everything. It was like an overnight celebrity kind of thing. Yeah, it was nuts.
Shout out to the Rush family. Can I work an event?
Yeah, you could assist me.
It's so funny how you just have that one like turning point. Yeah. For me, I haven't done anything like in that capacity in the wedding world. That was all like the music and industry stuff, but for me, it's been referrals, right? Like,
yes, word of mouth is always important.
Word of mouth is my biggest marketing tool. I don't actually really advertise other than social media and stuff, but like, for me, it's been like, I've done a great job at a wedding, someone from the wedding wants me, someone from that wedding wants me, someone from that wedding wants me, and it's just been this like...
You're definitely an OG in the game though.
Oh, thanks for that.
100% though, like you definitely have, like I said, like you pretty much been my mentor as well from when I was younger. And like, no, for sure. And like I think that just you being an OG in the game, just knowing a lot of people that just, remember, before social media, it was word of mouth. Who you knew, right?
Yeah.
And that's still a thing. You know what I mean? Like I became big because obviously word of mouth as well and meeting new people, but social media is what made me blow.
Yeah.
So like you're doing it the OG way, you know what
I
mean?
am.
So
I'm trying.
so you're still feeling it.
Yeah.
Yourself some credit, pat yourself.
Thank you. So for me, like referrals is my biggest thing, and I think that speaks volumes because truthfully, someone has a magnifying glass on the way that I work, especially if they've attended an event and now they want me for theirs.
Yeah.
You've seen how I play out a day. You've seen how I'm not that conservative. I'm 100% honest about that. Like you said, I call mom, dad. I swear sometimes when I'm with clients, like I'm professional, don't get it twisted, but I'm very candid, I'm very transparent about who I am. I'm transparent about the fact that I work full time, my clients have open communication to me as well. So like, for me, it's just been like this snowball effect of like meeting people at an event and continuing to like get to grow that way.
Exactly.
And I'm so thankful for that. But I mean, I don't mind a YouTube shout out here and there. No, but I love, I was telling Keith the last wedding I did, shout out to Cheryl and Brian. Cheryl was a co-worker friend of mine for many years, and I'm so excited that I got to work on her wedding and it like came to fruition. It was just beautiful. But that was probably like, I had a moment where, they were doing their speech and I always get a thank you.
Yes, I love that.
They always take their time and thank their vendors and so on and so forth. But there was something special about this thank you that was like really recognizing like my contribution to the day and just like how much effort goes into it and how much work has happened behind the scenes. And like the groom was very transparent about the fact that he hasn't been there for the bride in terms of the planning process, and he was just like, shout out to her for taking care of her,
like it's such an emotional day.
So, it doesn't matter like how we've kind of like snowballed, but it's exciting to see that we have. And I think that we like veered off because I still want to know your horror story. Yeah, you had any horror stories? I'll tell you mine. Want to hear mine? I had a client.
I need more wine from this one.
Yeah, I had a client, no names mentioned, but she works.
It's a little hot in here now.
She works in an industry that was very structured, very like following timelines, work back plans, and critical. Yeah, Keith's in the background listening to the chief. But yeah, I had a client, obviously a couple, but the bride was in like, she was very familiar with like work back schedules and critical timelines and all of these things, right? Mm-hmm. Statements of work and all of these things. Mm-hmm. And when I sat down with them, I liked their chemistry as a couple, but the one red flag for me was that it was for a full planning, and I remember them being like, well, what if so in vendor selections, I'm like, yeah, I usually will give you like 6 options for a vendor, and from those, usually you'll like 2 or 3, and then from those, like we'll go from there. And if you don't like them, we'll find some more, but generally I stick within your budget, your style, whatever. They were like, well, what if you don't like any of them? And in that moment, I was like, you know, I'm still growing, I'm still trying to build my portfolio, so I was kind of like, well, we'll find you more.
Yeah.
I thought that was very straightforward. That was a huge red flag. For me, that meant they may continuously be indecisive and continuously not be happy with the options put in front of them. And I learned that later. And time went on and we were working and, you know, they would want to spend like a huge budget on one element of the wedding, like engagement photos. But when it came to DJ, they were trying to like lowball. And they would be like, we want to know the pricing for like this flower package by tonight. And I'd be like, well, floral companies, like they could take at least 48 hours to get back to us. Like, you know, so our dynamic was not, we didn't mesh. I was very like, a little bit slow your roll. Their wedding was 2 years away. It was kind of like, I don't want you to contract a band because a band might not exist in a year from now. Like, let's focus on the photographer instead of a band right now, because a band is like, you can find a lot of bands, no offense to bands, but like, your photographer is a certain style and a certain aesthetic, and if you have one specifically in mind, you want to stick to that, you know? So I was trying to like guide them based on my experience and my knowledge and my know-how, and we were just like not meshing at all. And, you know, it literally came down to like a, let's part ways. And then, you know, you get into like the deposits and the return of deposits and all those things. And that was my first
non-refundable.
And that was my first eye-opening experience. But then guess what happens? Threats of bad reviews. Threats of bad reviews and threats of like, that is terrifying, so damaging. And shout out to Tracy and Danielle, because again, they kind of guided me. They were like, you know what, if it's not worth it, just like give them back some money and keep it moving. That will be your learning lesson. You've learned the red flags, you've learned what doesn't work for you. And from there, I've never had issues. And they went to another planner I know, and she did a great job, and they meshed better together, and that's amazing.
Yeah, see.
But it's just about the chemistry. So like, tell me one of your horror stories. Do you have one like that?
This is in the very beginning. So I drove about 4 hours to do a wedding for
4 hours? Wait, Ottawa?
I met them, no, we're not gonna get into the details. We're just gonna, you know, work our way through that.
Okay.
But no, I went to 4 hours for a wedding. This is my very like starting. Like they approached me with my friends I met in Muskoka.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, we're gonna have a wedding here, and we'd love for you to design it. So obviously they loved what I was doing at Tattoo, so I was like, okay. And I'm like, of course, and they were my friends. So it's like, not only are you invited to the wedding, but we want you to do this.
Yeah.
Like, of course, absolutely. So, not knowing anything, they're like, okay, I will pay for your accommodation. So I'm like, okay, amazing. You can do Airbnb or whatever by myself. So like, it's whatever. Okay. This place is like 4 hours away, so you know we're in the boonies. We don't know where we're going.
What?
Yeah, it's like
I'm already envisioning this.
No, it's like it was scary. So imagine driving at night in the country and it's just pitch black.
Yeah.
These people, I pull up.
And you didn't have an assistant for this?
No, I was by myself. I was
everything.
Yeah, I was like whatever. No, I didn't. So
she's got a glue gun though. She's protected.
Yeah, no. So what happened was I pulled up to the place, and the venue was beautiful. It was just like on a barn kind of thing, rustic vibe.
Yeah.
And I designed it. It was beautiful. Everything was great. And then when I pulled up to the venue, because I spent all day like getting all the centerpieces and everything by hand, prepared. Okay.
Yeah.
They were gorgeous, and I did the memory table, I did everything. So moving forward, I had to go. I drove to the place that they rented for the Airbnb.
Yeah.
It was in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't find it on GPS. I was losing signal.
Oh no.
When I pulled up, there was no Wi-Fi.
Oh no!
There was no
can't have no Wi-Fi.
Only like 2 channels worked.
No Wi-Fi on a event planner is like murder.
I swear to you. And I was like, okay. And it was like in the middle of nowhere, and it was just haunted. It was terrifying. I'm just like,
haunted. She's certain.
It was so scary. I was just like, listen, like I messaged them. I'm like, is it possible that we can like do a hotel or something? Because like, if I had known that this is the situation, and to put on the record.
And don't be cheap with your event planner.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm doing this for free already. At least like
I'm already not getting sleep.
I'm not asking for like Carlton.
Yeah,
or, like, you know,
let me have a good turn down service.
Yeah, like I was just not impressed. I was like, okay. So I literally was like, and 3 weeks prior to the wedding, I'm like, hey, like, I just noticed that this place doesn't have Wi-Fi. Or, like, hey,
Where are you
so,
putting
like, can we, like, rearrange a different Airbnb?
So prior to that, you started
I noticed things. I was like, no, I'm like, let me prepare myself. It's
Yeah.
like 3 weeks away. I'm booking off like 4 days from work.
Yeah.
An entire weekend from
Yeah.
Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Let me just like give them a heads up and be like, hey, I noticed this little thing and like,
It's
I don't know if it's
okay.
gonna work.
Yeah.
So like, you're more than welcome to just contact Airbnb and switch it. And they were not willing. They're like, oh, I'm so busy with everything. I don't even have time to do this. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's how you feel? I'm like, okay, like whatever.
I'm your friend too.
Like, I'm your friend, so I'm sad. I'm like, okay, let me just suck it up. I still showed up. I rented a car on my own dime.
Wow.
Drove out there 4 hours. Had to fill up my tank twice.
I'm gonna, while we're talking, I'm gonna continue.
Yeah. If you could
Here's
just help me out
the
a little
sound of
bit.
me cracking the wine bottle.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is crazy. Like, and when I pulled up,
That's the
it
sound
just,
of
it was,
teas.
yeah, it was just really sad. I'm looking at the wine like I'm about to drink you because I'm stressed. No, but
She's
like,
rehashing.
yeah, it was traumatizing, honestly. And
So you stayed at that
I stayed
original?
No, I left. I literally checked into a hotel on
No,
my
but they
dime.
didn't ever change it. You
They
still
didn't
had
change
to go
it.
there.
I
Okay.
called up, stayed at the place, even when I didn't want to. It was even scarier at night. I knew it was a shit show. I was pissed, and I messaged them. I'm like, whatever. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm gonna sleep in my car. They had no issue with that. No one offered for me to be like, hey, stay at this place, stay at my house, nothing. And that's when I knew. I'm just like, so you guys are okay with me sleeping in my car? Like, this is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
it was at that point. Yeah, it was bad. And then like, after all that, I still showed up. I could have left. I could have been like,
Yeah, I could bail. We could
I
bail
didn't
at your
know.
wedding.
Yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
the power is in our hands. You know
Yeah.
that, right? So you should be a little more sensitive.
But
to
you know what? Because
the
I'm a
review,
big
though.
person,
Keith's in the background
I don't even-
melting the reviews.
I don't even care about the review. I wasn't even JP&Co bad.
I am
I was just
now and forever.
earlier, about to lunch, but I didn't lunch yet, so that's tea. So I'm just like, so it's like, okay, like whatever, let me figure it out. And then I checked into a hotel on my own dime, and nobody offered a reimbursement or anything, so I didn't really care. What I did was show up the same day, put everything together. I had to like get at one of the people there that tried to give us a terrible background that was because it was raining, so they just put up the plastic on the barn.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, you guys need to go get a bucket and some soap and scrape all of that because you're not gonna put that in my background.
Yeah, in the
And they were
background.
trying to like be rude to me. I'm like, this is my client's wedding, you need to fix it. Even though I was not happy with them,
Yeah.
I'm still like pushing.
Yeah, you still have their back. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. So I still showed up, I still made everything gorgeous, they cried, everything was happy. And after the wedding, it was done at 8 o'clock. Well, I was done at 8 o'clock. And I packed my shit and I was out. I drove all the way to Toronto. Nothing could stop me. I had my bags, everything.
Oh
Nobody
my
knew.
gosh.
They messaged me the next day. They're just like, where are you? I'm like, yeah, I know I left. So
And she was a guest at the wedding, but she did not stay.
I did not stay. I just feel like it's a matter of respect. It wasn't even me being petty, because if I was being petty, then you wouldn't even have a wedding. You
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah,
have
yeah,
the decor, you wouldn't have had anything.
You guys would have just showed up to
You would have
it.
showed up to an empty barn, and that would have been terrible. I was just like, you know what, I'm not that person, and
No.
I'm a huge believer in what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
And regardless of how I feel, it's all about integrity at the end of the day. I wouldn't want
It's okay, their
anything
next
that-
vacation, they probably got a terrible,
Yeah,
terrible
I don't
hotel stay.
imagine that anything after that was great. I am God's child. So,
She
you know.
is forever protected.
Yeah, so I was just
Oh
like
my
not happy
gosh.
with that. It was terrible, and even after that, I asked for my photos, and I didn't get them.
Yeah, shout out to a few of my clients, you guys still owe me some photos.
That's tea.
You know what? So we're back, and Janeille almost died, and this is the first episode I've ever had to edit, but I would rather her be alive than die.
Oh,
So, note to self, if recording a podcast, perhaps wine is not the way to go at the hydration factor. Are you okay?
no sense.
Okay, so
It's all.
I thought she was just like appalled at what I was saying, because she like jumped
No,
up.
as soon as I looked at Keith, I was like,
She jumped up and choked.
Yeah.
So, okay, I remember what I was saying though.
yeah.
I was saying that I met this one photographer. She's incredibly talented.
Mhm.
She's actually pretty well known in the industry. And we worked a wedding together. And one thing that she said to me that I will never forget, and it became like my lifeline for selecting clients, is if I don't like anything, if one thing doesn't sit well with me. When I meet a client, watch two clients together, like a couple, like their dynamic, if their dynamic with me is weird, if they say something funky, if they are asking the wrong questions or answering questions wrong, I will not work with them. And so that brings me to the next little topic, like chemistry. The red flags and all of that, like that stuck with me because when I had that learning lesson with those clients and that little horror story, and I'm sure you've now kept that in the back of your mind at all times.
Traumatizing.
It is a little traumatizing because it's your business and it's your livelihood and it's something that you work really hard to build up, and especially when someone dangles a bad review over you, like, you know, that's a little traumatizing in itself. I'm dead at screenshots, but for me, it was like a good wake-up call because it reminded me that I should only work with people that I truly feel drawn to and feel like it's meant to be. To become established and to become, you know, to have built a portfolio, to have built a good repertoire of clients, you don't need any of the other bullshit anymore.
No.
And that's why I was talking to you about, like, you know, what's the difference between your clients then and your clients now. My clients then was, love them, I got lucky, had amazing clients, but I wasn't selective, I wasn't picking and choosing.
Yes.
And if I'm being honest, I not only want clients that I feel connected to, but I want the client to feel connected to me. And if you don't resonate well with me or I do not resonate well with you, then we shouldn't work together because this is your most intimate day.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive day, and it's something that you want someone to truly like understand what it means to you and execute it the way that you envision it. And so I don't recommend that you work with anyone that you don't feel that chemistry with.
It's not that serious. Like, even people, like, it just, a lot of people just want to work with people just because they have a name.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, those are the people that you come across and you're just like, why do I even do this? Because they don't treat you the best.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's all about status at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then even if it's not them, it's their guests.
Yeah. Oh God.
Their guests treat you like you're nobody, right?
Yeah.
So you still need to be like really selective with that. And now that I've like built a portfolio, just a clientele of certain people, I just know now. It's like I know whether or not I want to work with you. Sometimes I look at emails and I'm just like, is this even worth replying to? And being 100% honest, because like some are sketchy, like, you know what I mean?
Some are sketchy.
Like, it's a lot of energy for me to even go into giving you my pricing and everything like that. So it's like
when I used to sit down with that first conversation, that first, like, we exchange a couple emails, we're gonna meet up and we're gonna chat.
Yeah.
It always felt like a very awkward first date. And if I left that feeling like uncomfortable, like I would on a really awkward first date, I do not want to work with those people because I know that that is just not the vibe I want for another year, 9 months, 6 months, or 2 years for that matter. And so that sketchy feeling doesn't sit well with me, and I don't want to work with you for a year if you're like that. Every phone call's weird, every meeting's weird.
Yeah, I don't want to force anything. I don't care how much money you're paying me. I'm not forcing anything. If I don't vibe and mesh with you and you're not aligned with like my character or my brand, I'm just not doing it. And it's like, I don't like when people approach me in my DMs.
Yeah, you were saying that, yeah.
Don't approach me in my DMs, that's a disclaimer. Like before I used to like entertain that.
It's a disclaimer, so pay attention.
You just want to keep them there, like, okay, they're inquiring, you're excited.
Yeah.
I don't care. Go now. Like, no,
Right,
like,
no,
like,
yeah,
I'm a business at the end of the day. Like, DMs are like casual.
Yeah.
And I don't want to run my business on a casual basis. I want to run it very formally. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously, I have the personality and I'm fun, and once I get to know you and everything like that. But
business is still business.
Business is still business. Please go to my contact page on my website or just specifically my email. Like,
you know, it's funny that you say that because sometimes I get client cold calls, and they'll just start talking to me, and I'm like, who?
Yeah, so they press 0, they got a representative.
Yeah, I'm like,
no.
Who am I talking to? No. And they've like started talking to me as if I know you, and I'm like, well, do you mind this? Well, one, I'm in the middle of painting a wall. Like, you didn't even introduce that you're an interested client and you want to talk to me about an event. Can you schedule a call with me?
Yeah.
Can you know, we are very, I would say we're very relatable people, but there's still a level of professionalism, and we
100%,
still,
yes.
I still follow a process, and
I also boundaries. Sorry.
Boundaries and
boundaries.
Reassess who You are too. Like,
Yeah.
I Googled some clients.
Listen. I'd be Facebooking.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this person even real?
Yeah, I look up who
Yeah.
people are that I connect with, and you know, I've had people be like, "Oh, I used to work with that person. Now you work at that company. Did you know so and so?" Like, I will do a background check on the information you provided.
My clients, 100%, especially if you're coming in my DMs. If you're doing that, I'm looking up who you know, what mutual friends you have, if we even have mutual friends,
and where you came from.
Where you came from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I love when clients like tell me. I think it's so important to know where they found you.
Yeah.
And how they found you.
100%.
Because this is like, okay, this is working and
this marketing tool is working and not working.
Yeah, right? And a lot of people underestimate how important that is. And I've always had, I've heard from you with the Rush family, or I've seen your work and I'm obsessed with it. Like little things like that. I'm like, okay, Instagram, or just like the Rush family, or just any of my other clients.
It shows you. It shows you what where your fan base is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fan base. So
let's talk about boundaries.
Boundaries. I am huge on boundaries. Do not play when it comes to boundaries, because as a person, and especially as a Libra, like, you know, we're going to bring astrology into this, but I am a person that's very charming, a person that's very friendly and open, and I just love to make people feel good, and I'm very genuine with that, and I love connecting with people, but I'm also not one to play with when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Because you can overshare. I mean, sometimes I overshare too, but
I do too.
I like, that's fine. You can overshare like with who you're comfortable with, 100%. But just be genuine and just know boundaries, know what to share and what not to share. And I'm not about bashing other vendors and
100%.
talking about other planners and asking about, like, that's not my business.
Yeah.
I don't really care what's going on with them. I just want to be focused on what's going on with me.
And our connection.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of clients sometimes will come up to you and be like, like, I approached this person, but she quoted me this, and she's this, and he's that, or she's that, and I'm just like, okay. Like, I'm not entertaining that conversation.
To be honest, I don't even know that if I sat with a client that approached me like that would be a client I continue to work with.
Exactly.
Because for me, you're demonstrating to me that I don't necessarily have faith. I can't have faith that you are not going to do the same in regards to me and us working together. And like I said earlier, I'm so blessed, I'm so thankful, but a lot of my clients have become friends. And that's when the boundaries come down and you share who you are and more of your personal life. You know, I'm friends with them, and I see they're having kids, and I'm part of that, and I'm invited to things, and they're invited to things, and I built a relationship with them. But yeah, there's a limitation to certain behaviors and conversations.
So I have a question for you.
Okay, love it. I love this.
So the thing about me and my clients is like, yes, we become friends during the process, but do I want to be your friend after the process?
Mine is after the process.
Mine is usually like, I'm okay with that, but I always want to maintain that client and vendor relationship, because it's like, I want you to continue using me for your events.
Yeah.
And it's business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I still want you to have that relationship with me where you feel comfortable, because I've been invited to baby showers after, even weddings and stuff like that. And I love the ones that I've like become close with. I'm so grateful for that, but at the same time, it's like, not everybody that you work with needs to be your friend.
No, and I agree with you. I think that I have a mix. So I have people that are already like informal friends that I've worked with that became now like business, and our friendship really tied into what made the business aspect work. But we were never super close friends to begin with, so it kind of just maintained. I have other clients, a small amount, that I really grew a friendship out of, and they're a part of like my personal life. But those are clients that I've continued to maybe not do events for them, but had the referral.
Yeah, that works too.
And they've seen me do now 3 events based just on their event alone, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest is just more informal, like, you know, I'll text them and check in on them every now and then, or vice versa, or I hear them new information, like, you know, they just had another baby. Or,
yes, of course.
You know, something
always
exciting.
wishing like them congrats.
Yeah. So I have, there's levels and there's boundaries in certain aspects as well. But I do agree with you in like, you know, maintaining your composure and still having a certain like representation for who you are as a brand, because you don't want to lose, you don't want them to lose sight of who you are and what you're capable of.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then on top of that, discounts start
in.
And I don't want nobody coming to me for no discounts. I'm sorry, I'm over
There's
it
another
now.
disclaimer from Janeille.
Yeah, I'm just over it now. Like I've worked so hard to get where I am right now, especially being now WPSC certified. Like I underestimated that. I was like, I know what I'm doing already. You know what I mean? And it's like, shout out to the people who did that course and the alumni, including you, because you obviously recommended it as well when I came to you first. But like in general, it's just like now that I have the certification, now that I've done the work, I've built my portfolio, I've done things in my backyard for style shoots. I've worked with several different clients. It's like I've done so many different things, and I'm just beginning, you know. But it's just I don't want anybody.
Don't take advantage.
Yeah, don't take advantage of me. And I feel like I look like an easy person to take advantage of because I'm very sweet and I'm very nice and I don't like confrontation. But at the same time, I'm very assertive.
You have a backbone. 100%.
Exactly, I have a backbone, and you need one in this industry. So, but yeah, that's my take on boundaries. Just obviously respecting your client, them respecting you, and obviously you can build a relationship. Who doesn't want to see their clients and get excited and talk about new things? Be invited to different events and have their friends or whoever in their family come to you for events. It's awesome. I've actually had a few clients who I haven't even worked with, but just their guests. We have mutual friends, they came and she's like, oh my God, it's your event? Of course it is. Like, you know what I mean? She's like, you always do the best events. And like, that was such a compliment to me because it's just like, she's been to like 3 or 4 of my events and she's just always been
you've
super
set a tone
impressed.
for
You know what I mean? So when people see my events, they're just not surprised. They're always just like, you're always hitting. You're always never missing.
Good job, girl.
So that's fun, you know? So like, I just want to keep that momentum and have that vibe and energy at my events and just make sure that everybody's comfortable and just build that like boundaries, you know?
When we talked about planning this episode and we chatted, I reached out to you about this, but I also dropped a
2 days ago.
She kills me. It was 2 days ago, and I am excited to have her on the episode. That's not the first time I reached out to you about the episode, though.
Yeah, but like you said, June, July.
Listen, I was shocked at how many other people I got on the episodes as well.
Oh, you're killing it. You're doing so well, and honestly, I'm so grateful to do it on your birthday.
Yeah, it's a special one, okay?
We have the Prosecco.
Don't be a hater. Yeah, we got champagne, we got some wine. I don't know if I'm allowed to serve her anymore because she already choked on it a couple times.
That was nice.
So listen.
It's him.
So listen, yeah. Listen, Keith gets a shout out in every episode because he's always, shout out to Keith because he's holding it down, but like, he's hilarious.
You guys are great together. I'm very happy for you.
So thank you. So here's what I was gonna say. We talked the other day, and part of why I reached out to you was just like, I really just wanted your feedback because I feel like I go through this struggle. I talk to Keith about this when these inquiries come in, but like, some inquiries, man, like, event planning inquiries can be very strange, as we talked about.
Special.
But a little, like, offensive. My question is this. When you reach out to an event planner, when you reach out to anyone for any service, and it's a service that entails other aspects, you know, it's very different. Event planning is different than a lot of things. Because event planning means you need them for something that already has you spending in many other areas. Photographer, videographer, venue, alcohol, whatever.
Yes.
We are one element of a whole thing.
Yes.
Whereas when you reach out to a lash girl, you're paying for that service.
Exactly.
When you reach out to someone for hair or makeup, you're paying for that service. There's not a bunch of other pieces. When you reach out to someone and you say, I have an event and I would really like an event planner. My budget is $500. What is the dollar value that you're putting on hiring me for that service? And you and I chatted about this, and sometimes it's a little bit offensive. And I guess why I brought it to you in the first place was kind of like, what's your tone with this? And how do you approach this? And, you know, I've been doing this for years, and I've kind of avoided that conversation in many ways, but now I'm very blunt and say, like, my minimum for something like that, just like a small special event, a party, a birthday party or something like that, a bachelorette, bachelor party, whatever. If you want my time, my energy, a consultation and some insight, it's at least $500 or $600. If your budget's $1,000, yeah, and if your budget's like $1,000, what did you reach out to me thinking that you were gonna pay me? $100, you know? So I know this sounds like a very raw, explicit, kind of blunt conversation, but like, we talked about that, and just I love your input on that, and just sharing it with the world to hear.
Yeah, of course. I get inquiries all the time, like nonstop. But I'm telling you, if I would say yes to all these events, I'd be booked and busy. Okay, and I'm already booked and busy. But my issue is like when people approach me with these budgets, it's like, where exactly? And I always specify when we're like responding to an email. I'm like, okay, what is your overall budget? Be careful. What is your overall budget excluding me?
Yeah.
Because I let people understand that as a planner, I am separate from your budget.
Yeah.
You're paying for my energy. You're paying for my service. You're paying for me to literally deal with all the logistics and all the like administrative things like behind the scenes, the design, the styling, anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if it's not that you're paying for, that's for, like it's still something. So it's like if you're coming to me with a $500 budget, it's not going to work. I already know that I'm not working with that client because it just, where do I fit in? Like, if your budget is $500 for a table setting up for 40 people, what are we doing here? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm realistic. And I'm very sweet about it. I'm just like, unfortunately, like, I'm not able to work with you because it's just not, it's not suitable for what I'm doing and my branding and everything.
And to be honest, I don't know who's willing to do that other than a beginner. And shout out to a beginner who's willing to do that because they're trying to build their portfolio and learn.
I've
And so on and so
definitely
forth,
done
but-
events for the low. Like,
Same.
I've definitely
But-
done events for the low.
When you're looking at a very experienced event planner and you're inquiring, like, I don't know, I guess it's kind of just like, what was your train of thought when you reached out? And like, what were you thinking? And I don't mean to offend anyone in what I'm saying right now at all, but it's really just like, put some respect on our name.
100%. And I don't think that I don't think you need to invite an apology for that, for just having, like I said, boundaries and just knowing that you produce great work and you're able to deliver. It's like when you go into any store and something is $10, you're paying that $10. You know what I mean? That's for a service. You're dealing with somebody that is handling everything. You're literally, yes, it's stressful for you because you're overthinking, and if you're that hands-on client that just wants to be a part of the process.
Everything,
But there's also that client that's way too booked and busy themselves that just like say, okay, this
Hand
is
it over,
invoice, here's my credit card, and here's what it is. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you're dealing with a person that is dealing with so much, managing so many different people, including herself, her personal life, his or her personal life, and then they come in trying to help you. So why do you think that would be a suitable
Ballpark,
yeah, like it's just not, $500 is just not realistic, not for me anymore. Like I've already,
not for me.
I don't even think my clients are spending that even in the beginning. Like when I was just doing it, like maybe that was my rate just to like come on as a planner. But I'm definitely not doing that. If it's a budget for you to do a tablescape alone for like 10 people alone is like that. For like literally like 6 to 10 people, you're spending like $400 or $500.
And this is why weddings are so expensive, if you don't know.
Events are very expensive, and people underestimate that. Like florals are very expensive. People want to do this, like, oh, I want florals everywhere. It's like one centerpiece is literally like $125.
I know.
And that's like a medium.
I'm literally offended when I have friends that like told me they're going to a wedding, and I'll see them later that day, and I'll be like, I thought you were going to a wedding, and they're like, I went to the ceremony, but like I'm not going to the reception. I'm like, are you crazy? Like,
no.
Do you know how much that costs that person just for you to miss that meal?
Yes.
I get it, like happens, but like people don't really process what that looks like and means.
And it's not $150 anymore. Okay, we're in COVID times. The industry is recovering. It's not the same anymore. It's literally like some things are going for almost $200 a plate now. You know what I mean? And that's just because the
standards of the industry have
changed. It's very demanding. Like the quotes that you're getting nowadays for even a baby shower at a venue, like where you cannot use outside vendors, and even if you're using outside vendors, there's like a landmark fee, which is like 18% per person. That's alone ridiculous. People say, oh, I don't want to use your catering. I want to use my own catering. Okay, there's landmark fees. You're going to be spending so much more money.
Just to be able to use your own.
You know what I mean? So it's like unless you're getting a complete customizable venue that's open to like, yeah, you can bring your own catering, you can do everything.
Which is rare nowadays.
It's rare, especially with COVID times, because people don't have time for that. Like, no, you're using everything because people are still trying to recover from the pandemic.
And they want to be safe and protocols.
Exactly. It's not worth it for them to just have you want to do everything on your own and they're not really making any money except for the venue. right? So you just have to.
Which is already an existing building, which they don't
Yeah.
profit from. They start
Exactly.
filling it with people.
Exactly, and it's very expensive. It's super, super expensive, and like I always tell people, if you want to plan an event, yes, you love the work, but at the same time, there's so many amazing planners up here that I also follow me. Shout out to all of them.
Same.
And like,
Shout out to
listen,
all
like
of them.
when you look at their work and my work and your work, you're not gonna look at it and be like, oh, this is like $500. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna look at our work and just be like, oh, this is like, I can do this for $500. You're not gonna do that.
I think that's the thing. Sometimes I wonder, like, you looked at what we do and you think $500.
It's not realistic.
No.
I can name so many amazing planners that I follow right now, and who are amazing, and I can look at the work and be like, that girl is expensive, okay?
Yeah.
Period. And as they
Yeah.
should be, because they produce such great work.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you look at someone's work and think that that's like $300 to $500? I've had someone come to me wanting like a luxury picnic for $250.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand.
I don't
that.
know.
I don't.
I have to lug things to a field. You are to lug things to a field.
Yeah,
that
you
only
want a picnic for
charges
$250. I'm just like that.
that gets you a wine bottle and a
Or
blanket.
you can, or you can go to Party City.
Okay.
Like,
So
I'm just-
let's just clarify for the record. Why do people need to hire a planner? Give me like 3 key points.
See, okay, so one, they're the plug. They know everybody, they know the prices, they're realistic, and they're good with budget management. They alleviate any stress that you're gonna be dealing with.
They know that your event will not cost $500.
Yeah, they know that, and they're realistic. A good planner will tell you that that's not gonna cost you $500, and a good planner will also turn you down if you try to come to her or him with that. Another thing is, it's just worth it. It's an investment that's worth it. If you want to invest in things that are worth it, that are quality, that look good, hire a planner, because it will change your life and you will never look at events the same.
100%.
The production, the way it gets feel, just showing up and feeling like everything's taken care of, they don't need to worry about anything. Having someone just come up to you just to ask you if you're okay, if you're breathing. Like, you know what I mean?
You have allergies?
Yeah,
Oh,
you have allergies,
yeah,
so
we
someone
made
cares about
we
me.
made sure the kitchen knows.
Yeah, like that's another behind the scenes, and like
Yeah.
you're running after your client to be like, hey, who has allergies?
Don't put the shrimp on the table.
Yeah, don't, like, you're literally jumping over people just to make sure that they're not eating that, so they don't have maybe the pies next day.
Yeah,
you know
or
what I mean? Or dying, that's we haven't
Or
tried that though. But like in general, like, you know, you just have to make sure that everything's good, and when you have a planner, you don't need to worry about anything. It's an investment, you alleviate stress, and like, hire someone who's a professional.
Yeah, don't just hire someone who says they like planning events. That's
Yeah.
very different.
It's very, very different. They can still do it and they can still produce great work, but they won't know what they're dealing with until they get in that like jungle with people, getting numbers thrown at them like, this is $2,000. I didn't know it was gonna be that much.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's little things. So
So I have all the same reasons, but I have a couple extras.
okay.
Hire a planner because your bridal party, your family, and your friends will have other distractions. As much as you are on the agenda for that day and the focus is you and your partner getting married, or you as a focal point for an event, baby shower, birthday, whatever it is, everybody has their own agenda on a wedding and event day because they look their best, they're dressed their best, all their favorite people are around, there's so many distractions. Hire someone who doesn't have a personal connection to what's happening and their focus is primarily the event being successful and then everything else after that.
Yes.
And the other thing I would say is hire a planner because a venue coordinator, their focus is the venue.
Just the venue.
Shout out to amazing venue coordinators.
Yes.
They make
100%.
our job a lot easier when they are great and helpful and super accommodating.
Yes.
But their focus is making sure that the venue looks the best and is the best representation of what they promised a client for that day.
Exactly.
And they will not be wiping lipstick off your teeth,
Nope.
making sure all of your groomsmen have a boutonniere, or I can't even think of all the insane things that we do
No,
off to the
seriously.
side, but like
Yeah.
making sure your flowers are not wilting, that the bride's not throwing up somewhere, like all the things that we could, stopping at Dollarama to pick up something, who knows? But they don't do it. They make
Yeah.
sure the food comes out on time, that the door is open for an entrance, that the lighting is what we want it to be. And that's primarily what they do. They focus on the venue. A great venue coordinator cares about the bride and the groom and them having an amazing time, but they do not get on their hands and knees and make that happen.
They're not.
So,
no, and they're amazing, and it's awesome when we can collaborate together and we can
Yes.
just like go inside and just make everything happen together, but it's completely different than a planner.
and a lot of venue coordinators, when you sign with them, will tell you, like, we have a planner. You don't need a planner, you don't need a planner, we have a planner on site, totally different.
Completely different.
So those are my 2 reasons.
Your wedding planner becomes your best friend. Your event planner becomes your best friend. Like, you're always gonna have that love for them no matter what. Because like, even when you guys have those issues in between, sometimes it's not always gonna be amazing. Sometimes you're gonna have disagreement, sometimes you just need to like, okay, like, where do we go from here? You're gonna feel uncomfortable, but when you have that transparency, you can just be like, okay, this is how I feel, this is how you feel, what can we do to make it better? It's great. It just turns out really well, and then at the end, they're gonna always be grateful for you. They're always gonna be grateful. So don't underestimate planners, invest in them.
And they'll be the ones telling like their friends that get engaged or their friends that are having a party, like, best decision ever made.
Yeah.
If you had a good planner.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry if you had a horrible planner.
Yeah, of course. And honestly,
You made us look bad.
we also don't give the clients enough credit too, because like, what? You're trusting us with the most important day of your life. Whether it's a christening, a baby shower, a birthday party, anything, and you're spending so much money. It's so important to have a planner that's on your side and that like gives a shit about you.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for the clients that I worked with and previously. And shout out to you guys too, because as important as we are, you guys are also important because you're feeding us.
Yes, yeah, you're helping us
pay the bills, you know what I mean? And you're helping us get out there and do something that we love and we're passionate about. Because a lot of us, like, we're both doing 9 to 5s and do this as a side hustle, but you wouldn't even know because the passion is there, right? So shout out to the clients, shout out to potential clients, shout out to all of the people who admire our work, but seriously, kudos to all you guys.
I cannot say anything else about that because I agree completely with you.
For sure.
Okay, give me, what's your like number 1 tip for event planning, or what's your number 1 tip for a client? What's your favorite like tip for event planning? I have 2.
Putting you on the spot.
Okay, I'll give you mine.
Okay, give me your
Okay, so mine, and I hope this is for every client that's listening, especially if you are getting married, I highly recommend you do an engagement shoot with the photographer that you're hiring for your wedding day. Because your engagement shoot is the first look and feel for what your photos are gonna look like, what you don't like, your comfort with that photographer, something that they shoot that you hate. You know, you might hate being shot close up, tell them that. So strongly recommend that, and I learned that a long time ago with the photographer that I worked with because I had clients that kept refusing engagement shoots. They were like, we don't care about an engagement shoot. It is the window to a photographer truly understanding what you like as a couple and what you're comfortable with. And that way, when you shoot your wedding photos, there's no chance that it's going to be a miss because they know how to shoot you, what you're comfortable with, that you talk, you don't talk, you like direction, you don't like direction. Excuse me, you're choking now. You don't like direction. Yeah, you don't like direction, you like direction. It's really important that you do an engagement shoot, so highly recommend. And then the other really important thing is trust the process. You can plan everything to a T, but that does not guarantee that something will not go awry or go left.
Oh.
I had a bride that was type A, anal. She gave me a package with picture references, arrows and numbers and all sorts of things. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. Everything. Hole in the cake. Decor in the church was happening while people were coming into the church. The bride that couldn't let the reins go and like let me just do my job, everything was going wrong. And she didn't know that because I was able to, you know, spin everything and make sure that the day was beautifully executed behind the scenes. But for me, as someone, it's like you hired a planner, let them do their job, and trust the process. Know that things are not going to be perfect. You You can never guarantee that things will be perfect. It might rain, something might go wrong, whatever. But you hired someone to get it as close to perfect as possible.
Exactly, yeah.
Let them do that and trust the process. So
Fairy
those are my
godmother.
tips. Yeah, I am a fairy godmother.
Yeah, we all are, for sure. Like, I'm gonna piggyback from that too, because like, I feel like trusting the process is super important, and it's not always gonna go the way you want it to go, and you have to just be realistic.
Realistic is the key word.
And organic, like
Yeah.
don't force things, like you know what I mean? Just let it be, like don't force the photos, don't say like, yeah, we know you want your hair going in this direction, but sometimes it may not happen. It might rain on your wedding day, and honestly, overcast is great for photos.
It's true.
People sleep on overcast, and it's great, but
It's true.
and also include your groom. People always
Yeah.
underestimate how important a groom is in a wedding.
And
It's
his
like
opinion.
his pockets are getting like, you know,
They're impacted.
Yeah, it's impacted, and there's a little hole in there at times. And it's really important to include a groom in the process of everything. I feel like a lot of brides always leave their groom out, like, oh, who cares? He doesn't really care. He's just the person who's paying the invoice. No, that's not okay, because you're not marrying him for that.
Yeah.
You're marrying him because you love him.
Yeah.
Or
And if you
whoever,
are, you probably
right?
can't get married.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So include the groom, make them feel just as important because it's their day, their lives are changing. And I like to make both the bride and the groom feel amazing about their day. Like, yeah, they
Agreed.
look good, those shoes are
Agreed.
shiny.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
They get just as much as attention. and
Yeah, they
focus.
get just as much attention. It's not only about the bride. Like they always have this like stigma about the bridezilla. Like no, there's also groomzilla. And my current client right now, like her groom is amazing. Shout out to him, and he's so involved in the wedding as well. And it's been so fun working with him.
It is fun when they're all
I feel
involved.
like talking to him is a lot more fun than talking to her. To be honest, I love you, but no, she knows what I'm talking about. But no, seriously, like include the groom in everything that you're doing as well. Like don't just leave them out. I know there's some grooms who are not interested whatsoever.
Yeah.
But like, why wouldn't you be interested in the biggest day of your life? You know what I mean? I'm not here to judge, but let's be realistic.
It's an important day, and
It's
there's a
important
lot
day.
falling on both
Yeah.
of your shoulders.
Yeah.
I thought of one other thing while you were talking.
Talk to me.
There should not be so many cooks in the kitchen. If you hire a planner, everybody should know you hired a planner and trust that we're here to do our job and you don't need mom, mother-in-law, sister who already got married a month ago, and cousin who sometimes likes to event plan. Like, let us do our job. You don't need so many cooks in the kitchen. And if you don't hire an event planner, again, don't have so many cooks in the kitchen because it could become so overwhelming.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You just like reiterated it, but like kind of like differently. But like, you know what? I agree with that because I specify that in my contract. Like you let everybody know who I am. And what
to
I'm
listen
doing,
to
and to
me.
listen. Basically, I'm only taking your direction.
Yeah.
That's just it. Because I don't want anyone coming to me telling me why isn't this done? Or I've had clients like that where they're like cousins or their friends came in and it's like questioning what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you have to maintain your composure, obviously, maintain professional.
You know, I'm laughing because have you ever gotten the looks when you're trying to empty the card box and put it away safely and securely somewhere?
No, not yet.
I've had a couple weddings where like people think I'm like breaking
steal?
into the card box. Like
Yeah.
I've had an Italian wedding where he like
Yeah.
the dad like took the box and sat on it. Like put it under his chair.
Like that's uncomfortable and embarrassing.
And I was
It's
like,
what kind of
she-
character does he think you are?
Yeah, I know. At that point I was like, what time is this?
I don't know. Yeah, it's like, see, what did I say? Wedding at 8 o'clock. I left at 8 o'clock. Yeah, that's the type of party that we're
Okay, we're gonna do a this or that. We'll do a couple of this or that questions. She said
Okay.
she knows what it is because she watched a couple episodes and listened. And then I need you to tell everybody where to find you. So let's do a couple.
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather lose your ability to read or lose your ability to speak? That's challenging as an event planner because like, what are you gonna draw pictures?
I'm gonna do ASL. I don't get it. Like, let me think. Both are so important, and both are art.
I know.
But I would rather lose my ability to speak.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna agree with you.
ASL is beautiful. I can learn that.
Yeah?
Reading is so imperative. I'm gonna draft my contract. I would love to learn ASL, but I can still be a kind of do ASL. Shout out.
That's a whole different demographic.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. I love that.
Okay, Would you rather teleport anywhere or read minds?
Read minds.
I already do read minds.
Yeah,
My minds will speak that into truth.
Yeah.
I do read minds.
I'm like that already too. I think I have that gift, and my discernment is very strong, and I can literally read the room.
Yeah.
I'm really good at that. But teleporting, meh, not crazy about it.
All right. Would you rather sell all of your possessions or sell an organ?
An organ, because I'll help somebody.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I've asked anyone that yet.
What? So people are dying.
What do you prefer, Friday nights or Monday mornings?
Friday nights, getting lit. Okay. I look forward to Fridays because I just know like something's happening. Events happening, weddings happening, something fun's happening. Maybe I'm getting drunk. Who knows?
Okay, this one's interesting because you are an event designer, so aesthetic is your thing. Do you cut a sandwich straight as a rectangle or as a triangle?
Triangle.
Do you like flip it and make it look pretty on the plate?
Sunday Din Din. Shout out to Sunday Din Din.
Shout out to Sunday Din Din.
Yes.
Okay, so just as an aside, Janeille also has another page where she, I want to say, tempts everybody
Yeah.
with her incredible cooking. A lot of it is Caribbean inspired for the most part.
Yes.
And she has not cooked for me yet. I've been asking her for literally like a year. But if you just watch this page, you're hungry and like I'm dying to eat some of this food. So shout out to you for that.
Thank you.
She will never share a recipe. She like shares doses of it, but like you'll
A little 1-2.
yeah, you'll get a little 1-2 on like kind of what's in there, but like she's not gonna share it because it's her secret. And her grandma and her mom taught her not to ever share her recipes.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way. Shout out to mom and grandma. Okay, would you rather be a famous actor or a famous director?
Director.
Clearly.
I like behind the scenes.
Yeah, I don't want to be on the camera. Clearly,
Yeah.
she didn't either because she started choking and ran away.
Yeah, I wasn't into this.
This is the first episode that I've sat down with somebody who's very nervous. So you did incredible.
Thank you.
This is the first episode where we've had to edit it because my guest ran away choking. So shout out to Keith because I know he's gonna edit it. But this was a very important episode to me. I got to finally share like who I am as an event planner, what I do, why 818, and then I got to talk to you and I've seen like your whole process and I've seen you grow into this like incredibly intelligent event planner.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm coming to you for insight and advice, so like that should make you feel good. I mean,
You know, that little 1-2.
no, but seriously, I'm so impressed with everything you've done. You're incredible. You know, every now and then I catch myself getting a little comfy and like almost uncertain of kind of like what my next move is. So I'm always inspired by someone who's like a little fresher on the scene and doing things a little differently, and you know, anyone who's excited to do it. So I applaud you.
Thank you.
So please tell everybody where they can find you, include Sunday Din Din.
Okay, fine. Okay, so you can find me. Okay, you know what? No, I have to give you your flowers as well because it's not fair that you give me my flowers and I don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
But no, of course, like I'm so grateful that we're here because we started from the bottom. Like, you know what I mean? And now we're doing it by ourselves and we're killing it. And to see you like launch into something like a podcast, that's nuts.
Thank you, girl.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's amazing, and I'm so grateful that you had me do an episode for your birthday. It's
Yes.
like, what are the odds? Like, look at 2 days ago, people. Okay.
Listen,
Literally.
you know what? I'll be honest. I fluctuate. I have some episodes lined up like far in advance, and then there's some episodes where I'm just kind of like chasing the feel. I don't know what I want the next one to be. Who do I want to sit down with? You know, some people are kind of like, I can't meet with you, and then some people are like, I can, or whatever.
No. This is perfect. It was so organic.
I put you on the spot, and I'm really
Yes.
proud of you because
Yes.
I feel like if I gave you too much time, you would have like
Yeah.
veered left a little bit.
Yeah.
And we get busy.
Mhm.
It's wedding season.
Exactly. And this is like the perfect weekend because the next weekend is
A wedding.
your birthday.
Yeah, but she's missing my birthday party because she has a wedding,
I do.
and it's just what we do.
Yeah, exactly. But like honestly, like I'm really grateful. I'm just in awe that like we're here now.
I know.
It's amazing, and yeah, like shout out to you, man. You've
Thanks.
grown. Like a lot of
Thank
people
you.
don't know what you were doing back then. A lot of people do know what you were doing back then, but like at the same time, it's like you're killing it right now. So
Thanks,
I'm very, very
girl.
proud of you and your growth. And I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
I'm
Thanks for
super
being on this
grateful.
episode.
No, 100%. And I'm happy that you put me on the spot because this is completely out of my comfort zone. I know when I see this video, I'm gonna be like, I hate the way I sound. I hate the way I look because it's quarantine weight.
Listen, episode two was just me by myself. I was still figuring out how to record this.
I remember you holding the mic and you're
the mic was kind of chippy and I'm like in the corner, it's kind of dark. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was comfortably talking about getting out of your comfort zone from my own experience. And as this podcast has progressed, I've gotten more and more comfortable doing this. I've seen different types of guests in their comfort zone. And, you know, for you to say like, you know, you don't know how you're going to feel about it when you hear it, when you look at it, whatever, you'll just become more comfortable with it as time goes on. And I'll have you on again 100% and we can talk about where we're at then. But this is a big deal for you to be able to do this and do something that's different from what usually you're behind the scenes and you're making things happen and all the magic happen and you're just floating through a crowd. And I know because I do it too. And when you're put on the spot, it's a little bit different, but you're doing great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram, JP&Co events. It's really JP&Co, but Instagram is a hater.
They don't like ampersand.
Yeah, so JP&Co events on Instagram. Events is plural, and info@jpandcoevents.com is my email. You can reach me for any inquiries, and my website is www.jpandcoevents.com. Oh, and Sunday Din Din, if you're ever hungry, Sunday Din Din.
Oh my God, it's so good, and I'm dying to.
Something in my eye. That's great.
I'm dying for some food, and I'm happy to work with you on an event. So hit me up for any event ever.
100%.
Thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you for sharing your insight. Thank you for spilling a little tea. Thank you for surviving your little choking episode.
I should sue.
No, don't. But what's next? What's next? Do you have anything coming up for you?
Yeah, there's so much that's happening right now. I'm rebranding. Like honestly, I started JP&Co by myself. I did everything by myself. I was the person that built my website, and I hate it now. But I'm still so grateful. I'm so grateful for the growth and everything because, like I said, it was my baby. It was gorgeous 2 years ago, but now I'm in a different direction where I've grown so much. And
you have a lot more work.
I have so much more work, and my website is done. I just haven't launched it yet. It's stunning. My brand designer was amazing, and that's going to be launching in September. I have a lot of events coming up, and yeah, it's just look out because I'm going to be taking this industry by storm.
I mean, like, don't steal my clients, but girl.
No, we don't steal clients.
No,
we just refer and
just
support.
refer.
If you need to pull up to an event where it's like you need me to like show up, just like you did for me, I
Yeah.
got you. But we don't steal clients.
I know, no, we don't steal clients. That's
We
shit.
don't do that.
We don't do
We don't do
shit.
that.
Okay, so episodes drop the 8th and the 18th of every single month. And so as you know, this one's dropping August 18th, 8/18, my big special day.
Did you say happy birthday?
It's my actual birthday. No, please don't sing me happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday.
It's awkward.
Okay, it's embarrassing that I'm singing. Okay, we don't do that.
Episodes drop the 8th and the 18th of every month at 8:18 p.m.
Yes.
This one was such a special one. It's my birthday episode, so thank you again for being here. Shout out to Keith in the background, as always.
Yes.
And thank you all for listening. If you've made it this far to episode 11, I truly appreciate you. And if you haven't, catch up. You should be here by now.
Yes, you're slipping.
But yeah, check out the episodes. Video on YouTube, and you can listen on every major streaming platform. So be sure to listen and check out Janeille and Sunday Din Din and JP&Co events and all the amazing things. So thank you for listening. And we're out.
We're out.
I
That was so fun.
It was fun.
Okay, get this thing away from me now. Where are we going to celebrate?
Let's go.